Hey, good morning. Today, I want to quickly pivot to the technology I have tested and I'm very impressed. I have signed up for Google BigQuery, some of the features, Google Studio, if I will, where you can start a Spark job, connect and code in SQL, just to get an idea of what kind of services you can leverage, what you can do in the open source community. I chose GCP for this purpose. You can choose AWS or Microsoft Azure, depending on you have a service that is offered free of cost. That's what I would recommend, unless you have an object, you are doing it for your enterprise yourself. But I did love my own independent account where I can run it locally. So I've started exploring Google Studio. I do want to understand at a much deeper level what Vertex AI, how can I um, containerize some of the best machine learning models out there and actually use dynamic data sets to push models into production. What does that whole environment look like? What are the processes involved, and how can I leverage the code that is available and the data sets that are available online out there in the open source community? So let's get on this. I want to show a quick demo. This is what the interface looks like. How I got to this point, I just created a new Spark job. You get an option to do that where you can simply go into the different different services they have. So this is the interface. We'll talk more how to get here. I just started a Spark job, and that is what you see here on the screen. But if you click Add Data, you can see the databases, the different databases you can connect to: Oracle database, MySQL, Postgres, SAP HANA, Google Bigtable, Cloud Spanner. If you want to go into the different data sources, you can connect to Google Ad Manager, Google Ads, Google Display, Salesforce, YouTube Content Owner, YouTube Channel. You can explore multiple things. I don't want to get into more details, but let me go back to this and explore more and talk through what are available out there, which is fascinating. Business applications, right? So Apache Spark, Google Play, Merchant Center, Google Sheets, all of this, additional data sources, Acue Weather. I would love to explore some weather data and forecasting. And I hit that. I'm going to go to this data set, load billions of rows in minutes. So Google BigQuery is facilitating a connection, if you will, to access this data inside of Google BigQuery and actually run a Spark job if you want to, right? That's just a quick demo. I'm going back to the original screen and go back to where we were. So those are the business applications. And then what are the data lakes here? The Google Cloud Storage, you have Amazon S3, Amazon Azure Blob Storage, Dropbox, Google Drive, Google data warehouses that are available. You can connect to Teradata, Snowflake, Amazon Redshift, and data streaming. You have all of these: Apache Kafka, Amazon Kinesis, JMS, Google Cloud. All of these are amazing, right? At least you have a laundry list of what you can do and what you can access. I thought what was amazing, that was just a quick rundown laundry list of things you can do inside of Google Studio. But this is more fascinating. I just enabled Gemini. You want to enable that. So if you click this button, this is kind of the Gemini logo. If you click this star on top on the right hand side of your console or Google Studio, when you enable it, open or close Gemini Cloud Assistant. You want to enable that. I just enabled it. And now I click on this and you can see what all the Gemini aspect inside the Google Studio is going to facilitate: auto generation of your code, SQL generation tool, explanation of what that code means, code generation. These are enabled at this point. Now I just want to start. This is just amazing. So I asked a prompt, give me a retail or e-commerce data set and tell me how do I proceed with the API key. And then it gave me a quick explanation. We can ask another quick question. I want to access a dynamic data set to run a Spark job, um, preferably weather data. Use an API key to access data in pockets for the last 3 months, essentially. Okay, we don't have to for recent 3 months. Okay, let's just hit that. Let's see what it has to say. So this is the best part. You can either navigate and find it out yourself or just ask a question, right? It's going to get the results and show you exactly what you need to do and how to proceed, right? Okay, accessing dynamic weather data set for a Spark job on Google Cloud involves a few key steps. Since you want to use an API key and focus on the recent 3 months, here's a breakdown of how you can approach this. Choose a weather data provider. There are several weather data providers that offer APIs. Popular options include Open Weather Map, Acue Weather, and WeatherBit. I believe we saw Acue Weather in one of the data sources, so I can just go back there. I think it enables something. Sorry about the sticky keys. Store your API key securely. That's just to have security with your API key, or you will be billed for somebody else's queries. You don't want that. So always secure your API. There's some of the security options you need to enable before you start your project. Set up your Spark environment on Google Cloud. Google Cloud Dataproc is a managed Spark and Hadoop service. So that's interesting. Like Google Cloud Serverless Spark, this is an option if you want a completely serverless experience. It is deeply integrated with BigQuery. You can run Spark workloads directly from BigQuery. Develop your Spark job, and you can go from there. So you have clearly laid out steps, right? And the most exciting part is example Spark code snippet, conceptual Python. So you're basically giving an idea of how you have an API key. So you have a unique API key that you want to use that in this particular code, and you can use this shell to start generating your API keys, right? You start generating your code. So I can go here and just click Shift Enter. I'm going to start a new tab where I can paste that code and start creating my own code. So as simple as that. I am going to You're now authorized with Dataproc. That's what's needed to access the weather data. I can start running this, but I believe it's going to give me an error because the API key is not unique. So yeah, that's the error you're seeing here. But I thought this was amazing. You don't have to be not familiar with these cloud environments now. Just get yourself a free account and start exploring. You have tons of things you can learn. I'm going to close the Google Assistant here for a little bit, but just by clicking and browsing through all this data, right? You know what business applications are out there, what data warehouses are available, Redshift, Teradata, Snowflake, what kind of data streaming services you can utilize underneath the hood of Google Studio. Just plenty to learn from. I really love this environment. I'm going to continue to explore and actually come up with a simple project that we can follow end to end in the near future. Let's connect again, but that's all for today. Have a great weekend. Until next time.